So how screwed are landlords in Canada, but particularly in Vancouver and Toronto, possibly Montreal. We'll see, but definitely in Toronto, pretty much in Vancouver. How screwed are they? They are pretty screwed. Let me explain to you what I mean. Rents are falling. I know. Everybody says no, no, no. Rents aren't falling. I mean, they are. Like if you've signed a lease, your rents don't go down. They stay the same to the end of the lease. But if you choose to try to look around in Vancouver, you're in a condo in Toronto, or you're at a condo in Vancouver, and at the end of your lease, you choose to look around and see if you can get a better deal, you'll get a better deal, particularly for the dog crate condos in Toronto. You'll get a much better deal. You'll get much less rent. Like the numbers specifically are 5.6% down in the GTA over the course of the last year. That's real. Like everybody I talk to says, yeah, it's hard. I saw an ad the other day. They were offering 3 months free rent. Okay, like it's real. Is it going to get worse? Yeah, it's going to get worse. I know. This is so hard to comprehend. It's really hard because for all these years, and by the way, it is true. Canada is in a housing crisis. It is, but it's that we've overbuilt one super specific product in several specific regions. We've overbuilt small condos and like we stopped building houses, like houses, low-rise houses, townhouses, semis. We stopped building them probably in 2018. The ratio dropped in Ontario to 20% low-rise, 80% high-rise. And of the high-rise, none of them are nice. They're like 80% dog crate condos that nobody really wants, tiny little condos. So only suitable for rental, really. They were all based on rental. So what's beating this, but still, we got a housing crisis, Ron. Yeah, if you want to buy a house, it's hard. It's super expensive. There's low supply. They're not building any new ones in Ontario, hardly any in British Columbia. They're not building new low-rise properties. And so the stuff that people want, the stuff that people aspire to own, we quit building them, and we really almost completely stopped building them in Ontario last year. So yeah, that's a housing crisis for sure. Prices are way too high, crazy high. Why are rents coming down? Well, just like I said, there is so many of these. There's 50,000 dog crate condos coming on stream that were bought 5 or 6 years ago. They're going to come on stream in Toronto in the next 2 years. And will they be filling up? I don't think so, because there's other factors fighting them. So let's run it down. Number one, we got the war on Airbnb, particularly in British Columbia and Ontario. There's an outright war. Quebec too. There's an outright war on Airbnb. It's like the city's against you, the province is against you, the federal government is happy to hit penalties onto your income tax once the province or the municipalities prove that you're in violation of their Airbnb rules. So if you feel you can't continue with Airbnb, which was sort of profitable, barely, but profitable, and now you have to do long-term rental, you used to be Airbnb, now you're long-term. That's 1 more, 2 more, 1,000 more, 10,000 more new units that are coming out of Airbnb and into long-term, which is more inventory. Okay, it's even worse. So what else? Well, we got the reversal of immigration. I know. I'll get 1,000 comments that say, you're wrong. Immigration's running. It's going to be 1 million people. Please, Jesus, no, I'm not wrong. Like some of these community colleges, their enrollments are down 65% in 1 6-month period. Like there's going to be far, far fewer students. There's going to be far fewer temporary workers. There's going to be people who will return back to their original countries. That's going to happen. And it's true. It's just factual. It might not be happening instantaneously, but particularly now, and as the government's cut back all the numbers of permanent residents we can have, and the new government, because there is going to be a new government in Canada, the new government's going to cut it back probably even more. I mean, there just will not be any mass immigration to Canada anymore. It'll be more like the 300, 250,000 that we were used to for decades. And yeah, that's good, but we've got so many units. Okay, what else is going wrong for renters? For rents? What's going worse for landlords? The economy. The economy is going to rat shit. Okay. So if the economy goes to rat shit, then people who can't afford their apartment or their condo or their strata, they just say, "Hey, I got to move back home. I gotta go in with a roommate. I can't afford my own place anymore." That's another empty unit that needs to be filled. That's lower rents. Hey, it's still worse than that. There are things called purpose-built rentals. Purpose-built rentals is just the old-fashioned apartment building that we quit building in the 80s. Almost completely went out of style. It was replaced by strata and condo. And now the whole thing is turning back again because purpose-built rentals have a great support system called CMHC Select. And it's a program that's been going on in one form or another for about 9 years now. There's lots of these towers being built just meant to be rented out. They have somewhat favorable financing. They're just a little bit bigger units in general than the super tiny dog crate condos. And when they come on stream, when one of them finishes, it's like 300 units you've got to rent out right now. And that's how REITs work. They rent out those units, the landlords, they got to rent them out right now. So they might offer 3 months free rent. They might offer reduced rent. They might offer anything to get those 300 units rented out. And there's lots of those coming on stream. So yeah, literally every bad thing you could ever think of that could happen for landlords who want higher rents is pushing rents down. Oh, and you think the economy is going to get better? Hey, remember something. Next week, Trump is inaugurated.